Crusader Nation, I'm so excited to be sitting down with Coach Chesney to check in during this bye week. My name is Kara Abraham. I'm the director of the Crusader Athletics Fund and Athletics Fundraising at Holy Cross. And I wanted to take some time to update our football alumni and donors about all the great things going on with the program off the field. So let's take a few minutes with Coach Chesney to hear about all those great things.
Thanks for being here, Kara. Appreciate it. I appreciate you covering us and the willingness to share with our alums and our supporters.
Let's start with some of the team accolades. We've seen some great records broken, some individual and team recognitions. What are some of your most proudest moments for the team so far this year?
Yeah, I think that, anytime you start off with a new team, you're always wondering what exactly it's going to look like. You have a general idea of what your feelings and what they've done throughout the summer, but there's a lot of young guys in there that you're going to need. And you hope you don't need all of them right away, but we're finding ourselves a little bit in that situation. But you're going to find out a little bit more of them when you start to test them and fire in games. And I think I really like that overall progression that our young guys have taken. I'm really proud of that. I do also think, though, that when you go back and you look at Dobbs right now, right, who continues to remain on the Campbell Award list, when you go and look at Sluka and Coker and those guys on the Walter Payton Award list. Jordan Fuller continues to impress with his numbers on the national stage and just keeps getting a little bit better and better every single week with just how much these guys are doing. So I would say that, obviously their production on the field puts them into these types of situations where they're noticed on the national stage. But I really like their day-to-day, their leadership, and the things that they're able to do with these young guys on the field. To me, that stands out a lot more than just what they're doing on the national level. The national level is, you're comparing people to people.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I like watching them help build this program, help interact with these young guys, help support these young guys, because that lasts forever. And you're not comparing yourself to anybody else. You're comparing yourself to what this team needs, and you're making sure that you hold yourself to a high standard. So I'm very impressed with their leadership around these young guys. I think they're doing a heck of a job.
That's great. From my position, it's been incredible to watch so far, and I just can't wait to see where the rest of the season takes us. Our student athletes are remarkable.
Yes.
Another point of pride for the program is our alumni engagement through the 90-wide mentorship program. What have our student athletes and alumni been doing around that program this fall?
Well, it's funny you ask, because just yesterday we had our alums here. So we had Bill Maloney, who started technically the mentorship program, Larry Doyle, who formerly turned it into the 90-wide, and then Artie Grutt, who is here via video, being able to talk to our guys. We also had Tavares Brewington and a few others, Brian Cullinan, Travis Thompson, and a few others that were here to make sure that our guys understood what proper relationship would be like from a mentor to a mentee. So when we were in here in this exact room, I said, how many guys have a mentor? And about 3/4 of the room raised their hand. I'm like, that's not enough. But then I realized how many freshmen we have on this team. So they raised their hand that they did not have one yet, but they were excited to get started in this process. So those guys were here to talk to them a little bit about it, to make sure that they fully understood what it takes to be a Crusader, and then what resources they have available here on campus, but then also how much these alums could be a resource to these young men. And often our guys that are leaving here in senior had 1, 2, or sometimes even 3 mentors, which leads to those internships, which then leads to the full-time employment. And I just love everywhere I go in the country, when I meet with the alumni group, to a man, every single one of them says, I got my first job because of someone from Holy Cross. I got my second job. I got my third job. And then I'll still see them networking, talking about job openings they currently have within their firms and asking if this guy might want to join. So that is something that just, pays itself forward over and over and over again, probably for the rest of their professional lives. So that initial starting point was yesterday, and it was pretty neat to watch them start to get introduced to it as young guys, but then to watch those relationships grow with the older guys.
It really is an incredible program, and we're so grateful to everybody who's involved in that. It's an incredible amount of work and commitment by everybody involved in that 90-wide program. So we are just so grateful for all of that time. This fall, we're really excited to recognize 6 Crusaders as they enter the Varsity Club's Hall of Fame. One of them, Kevin Garvey, class of 1985, a standout offensive lineman for the Crusaders. What does it mean to have another football alumnus going into the Hall of Fame this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a rich tradition of football here at Holy Cross, as we all know, and I think that's something that stands out to me. I think every year I've been here, we've had 1, at least sometimes 2, go into the Hall of Fame. So Obviously, Kevin was a great football player back in his day. He did a phenomenal job. It's not often that an offensive lineman is recognized. I know that that has been the case the past couple Hall of Fame classes, but it's usually a skill player. It's usually a receiver. It's usually a quarterback. It's usually guys that have had some more statistical evidence to state that. So to have Kevin do that, obviously you understand how great of a football player was on great football teams. So I'm excited to get a chance to see him when we get here to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and I'm sure he and his family will be very, very proud. But it is always great to see football players entered into the Hall.
So many of our alumni and donors are aware that 2 years ago, we raised an incredible $1.6 million through our Fueling the Momentum campaign. What has that success in fundraising helped to do for the program over the last year?
Yeah, well, the past year was obviously a historic season on many fronts, including our fundraising. I think that flight to Buffalo, it was a $50,000-$60,000 flight, something along those lines. That certainly helped with our summer access that we now have. At one point, we only had a couple tens of thousands of dollars, and now there's a major commitment to that because of the support that we're receiving from each and every one of you at home that are helping this program. Nutritional enhancements, I think, are also very important, especially now with a younger team. Those are things that we have to continue to take steps in the right direction in the off season to make sure these guys are going to work hard. There's no doubt about it, but we got to make sure that they're replenished, so that they can put on the weight they need, the size they need, the things that we need to do to continue to build this football program in the right way. There's so many more, but those three stand out to me, probably the most impactful things with giant price tags that we were able to do over the past year.
The way that our community rallied around this campaign was inspiring. So this year, the Crusader Athletics Fund is focused on refueling the momentum. This year, we'll be focused on 3 goals. The first is to increase our football alumni giving participation. The second is to increase the number of 5-year commitments made to the program as a part of this campaign. And the third will be moving up our fundraising in the fiscal year, which will help us better plan and utilize the resources going forward. As we raise more and more every year, what are some of the things you're focused on to help enhance the program and the experience for the student athletes?
Yeah, one of the main ones remains the summer access, right? To be able to have that, and then also be able to have do some team bonding events that we don't typically get to do, right? Anytime you have a team of 100 people, everything costs a little bit more, right? So that is something that comes with it. We really didn't, we did 1 or 2 things last year, but I'd like to see that certainly increase. We have to do a better job in recruiting. I think our recruiting budget has to continue to climb, just because as we enter this national stage as a football program, we want to continue to recruit on a national level. I think that's a very important piece of this. And then just continuing with the development, keeping up with technology as far as the developmental things are concerned when we have all of winter and all of spring. Those are the formidable months that we start to build this program the right way. And the one thing that we're lacking on right now is just our GPS ability in the indoor. And that comes again with a hefty price tag, but that is something that is sort of at the top of the list right now for us to be able to accomplish. So there's a lot in there, locker room enhancements, a lot of other things that we'd like to continue to do. But I think our ability to evaluate the players at a high level, right? Us to be able to acquire this talent and seal the deal at a high level. And then when they get here, develop them in the proper way so that they can become the best football players that they possibly can be, while being present on a team that they feel very, very comfortable with, a ton of trust, a ton of belief in one another, and just a great overall camaraderie, which only happens by spending time together. So there's just a lot in there that, we need to continue to increase and continue to do a better job of as we evaluate talent, as we're able to bring those young men here to our nationally ranked program, and then move it a little bit further into the ability to then develop them when they get here. Those things are paramount, and those are things that we certainly need quite a bit of help on.
Well, we're really excited to help you reach new heights with the program. And we know that fundraising is going to have to reach new heights in order to help the program do that. As Coach Chesney shared, your gifts directly support the success of our student athletes and the team. I ask you today to join us in making a gift or fulfilling your pledge commitment and to the Refueling the Momentum campaign. Your gift will help us to continue to elevate the student athlete experience and support this team in its pursuit of its 5th consecutive Patriot League title. So thank you so much, Coach Chesney, for sitting with us and checking in during the bye week. We're so excited to see all the great things that happen the rest of the season. And we look forward to seeing all of you back on Fit and Field on October 21st during Family Weekend.
Yeah, well, thanks for doing this. I think that anytime we get a chance to just continue to connect, I like this way. I know there's letters that people write, but I kind of like having a chance to sit here just explain it to you a little bit and talk through everything. But I'm just very, proud to be part of this, proud of all of your support, and thankful for everything that you've done. Obviously, we still have a lot of season left to be played. We have, we have to continue to have a next man up philosophy. We have to continue to put our best foot forward. We have to continue to develop and learn from mistakes and grow from positive experiences. But all of that is something I hope you are all very, very proud of. And I think that, we're continuing to look forward to the rest of this season. Look forward to seeing you all here once we get off this bye for the Lafayette game, and look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. But thank you, Kara, and thank you to Crusader Nation. We'll see you all very soon.